So in today's video, we're going to be talking about this camera right here, the Mamiya C220F. I recently picked it up last month after I sold my Mamiya Universal. And you know the old adage, one camera in, one camera out? Well, the reverse is true. One camera out means one camera gets to come back in to the rotation. So I decided to pick this up. I've been shooting it for a month. I want to talk about what I like and what I don't like in my first impression of this camera. So in an effort of full disclosure, I bought this on eBay, listed as is. Actually, the person who sold it to me said, I don't know if it works because I don't know anything about cameras. I just sell pottery. And lo and behold, on their shop, it was just pottery. And then this beautiful camera that came with the 80mm f2.8 blue dot lens and the 55 f4.5 lenses, which are two lenses that I wanted if I was going to get into this system. It just so happened that it worked out that both came with this kit. It also had an instruction manual, a catalog. It also had a grip, a hand grip. I don't really need that. Also a sync port cable, which was really nice. So it was basically somebody's setup that I'm assuming this person found out of a storage container and then just sold it on their eBay for relatively cheap. And I was happy to pick it up. But there was one issue when I got this camera. The 55mm lens was perfect, absolutely beautiful condition. The 80mm, however, did not have a working shutter. What was happening was when I got it, I would depress the shutter cocking lever, and when you would fire, this lever would only kind of go up halfway, and it wouldn't fire the shutter. And if you push the lever up, the lens would then fire, which was great. But the old owner's manual and repair manual that came with it basically told me how to fix it. You take off your front element of the shooting lens here, the bottom one, and down here you're going to see this brass gear type of thing. It looks like a gear. I forget what they mentioned in the repair manual, but this little gear is actually responsible for the tension of the shutter lever. So what I did was I disassembled it, cleaned it out, hand tightened it back in, fired the shutter, and everything was back to working condition. So I bought a really nice little camera with two really great lenses for, I don't want to say how much because it really wasn't that much. But the reason why it was sitting on eBay for so long was because it was listed as not working. But I'm happy to say this was one of the times that eBay did not bite me in the ass, and I got a pretty darn good camera for a really good deal. So today we're rocking the Mamiya C220F. That means professional, apparently. We got the 55mm f4.5 on here. This is my first sort of real world usage of this lens and this camera. I'm really excited because we've got this crazy conditions all day. I mean, this morning when I got out here, it was thunderstorms all day, really rough, torrential downpours. And now that we've gotten towards twilight, we've got this beautiful sun, beautiful cumulonimbus clouds, and this camera by my side. So hopefully we take some good images. Been kind of going all over the place. This might be a tough one to track, definitely a tough one to edit, that's for sure, because I'm going from Northampton to East Hampton to Hadley to Holyoke to Springfield, West Springfield, back to Holyoke, now back in Northampton, and the Bruins are on tonight, game 2 of the playoffs, round 2. So I've got some rushing around to do because I just feel like I haven't made many images already, but super stoked to use this lens and see what the characteristics of it turn out to be. Wide angle lenses typically lend its hand to 35mm or more rectangular frames. So in a square frame is kind of interesting. So see how that works out. It looks good through the ground glass. but, you know, it can be deceiving at times. But let's not waste any more time. Let's try to get out into the fields here in the Oxbow and try to take some pictures. So just wandering around the Oxbow. It's been a few hours. We're getting closer towards twilight now, and obviously still rocking the 55 on the Mamiya. And as I was coming over to the Red Barn, which is one of the only structures on the Oxbow outside of the houses that are way off in the distance there, but as I came over, there was this couple just sitting there hanging out, and I went over to see if I could take a picture of them, and they were like, yeah, sure. So I took a couple of shots. Hopefully they come out all right. I look back, I think I'm overexposed by like 2 stops almost. So that's gonna be pretty darn bright, hopefully not ruining those images. But oddly enough, I talked to them for just a couple of minutes, and they were like, you know, this isn't the first time we've been photographed out here. A couple of weeks ago, we were out on this berm, and some guy pulled over and took a picture of us, and I was like, hey, that was me, I did that. And I showed them the picture, they were like, oh my God, that's so cool. And then they started following me on Instagram. It's always nice to meet people out here when you know, you have some sort of common interest in terms of like the area that we like to hang out in. And I got to photograph them a little bit better, but with the 55. I thought about putting the 80 on, but I wanted to get real close and see what I could do. But again, I think I'm gonna be slightly overexposed by 2 stops. Talked about latitude with this film in one of my previous videos. Hopefully everything pans out with those images. Overexposure is generally not a bad idea with color negative anyway, so not a big deal. But let's keep walking. The ground is super muddy, as you would expect after a pretty heavy rainstorm. See what else we can find. Now let's get to some of the pros about this camera. Some of the things I really like. Completely modular. Well, not completely. You can take off this advanced grip here and put different ones on. The C330S has a traditional like lever type of thing. I saw a video from Ribsy a while back. I think he had the C330S, but those lever ones, they have a little pin in them that tend to come out every once in a while, and then you kind of lose the ability to advance. So this is why I like the 220 a little bit more. It's just all black. It's very sleek looking, very clean. This isn't the original waist level finder for it. This is actually off the C330S. Whoever had it, they obviously just wanted to upgrade it, which I don't like the way this one looks as much as the one that came with it. But there are a ton of things that you can just add and remove. There's a grip that you can go on here. The lenses are obviously interchangeable, and then different prism finders, reflex finders. You can obviously put different waist level finders on it. So there's just a lot of things that you can do with these cameras that you can't do with almost any other TLR, which is why these were pretty popular and why they are still popular. In fact, really not that expensive other than, you know, the more modern versions. There are older versions of this camera, the C220, the C330, 333, I have no fucking idea. There's probably a million other ones, and they're all great. They all have the same system of lenses, so you can just kind of buy an old camera and then just buy different lenses. You don't need to buy a new one. This one just happened to be a good deal, but there's just a lot to like about the system as a whole in terms of its functionality, in terms of its ease of use. I've had a lot of fun with this camera. A whole hell of a lot of fun. I've been really enjoying it. Other than its girth and its weight, you know, feels like a little person is hanging off your neck and just kind of dragging you down when you're walking around the streets. But we just came back from P-Town camping for the week, and I photographed a lot. I don't know how those images are going to look. I'm going to be developing them right after I finish this, so I'm eager to see. But I've been shooting around a lot in the Oxbow with the 55 f4.5, and holy cow, that lens is quickly becoming one of my favorites. But I'm trying to get more used to this 80 because it's a really, really nice lens. I don't know, there's something about the wide angle that I like, and it's sort of weird to see it in a square format. road subject to flooding, and it's flooded. There's been a couple of people that drove right down into it, and I guess from what they said that they were in the middle of it trying to gas it out, completely flooded their engine, and now they're being towed away. Interesting stuff. I mean, we just had torrential downpours for like about an hour pretty consecutively, and this whole area prone to flooding. Holyoke, Northampton, even into Springfield, West Springfield especially, they just flood so quickly and so dramatically. And yeah, when you get a couple of inches in an hour, this is the stuff that happens. And a lot of these roads under the bridge here, they're under feet of water. Right now it's about 2.5 to 3 feet. So pretty crazy, but we're photographing with the Mamiya C220 with the 55mm lens, which is nice and wide to get some of these images. So I don't know if I double exposed any of those last frames. I might have. So with all that being said, I honestly think that this is a really great camera for anybody who is just learning medium format or wants to get into medium format, or even just cameras in general. Honestly, I think this camera is something that will grow with you and that you'll really like. But this camera is really everything that you would ever need. If you want to save money, the Shikimate 124G is really great. No interchangeable lenses, very lightweight, very common. You'll save a lot more money and you'll have a lot more fun with it. But if you really are serious about getting into film and you want to shoot, portraits, or you want to shoot landscapes, there's different lenses that you can use with this camera to make it custom fit your needs, which is nice. I love that. I like modularity. Despite that, I still love the Fuji GSW. That's my go-to. And I'm going to continue to shoot with that camera, but for the time being, I'm really having a good time shooting square. I'm going to continue to do that. There's going to be a lot more videos coming in the future with this camera. But I just wanted to use this as an introduction to you guys, so you don't just start seeing a new camera on my channel and wonder what the heck is going on. Now you know. The more you know. Okay. Nice and easy. That's it. Get the hell out of here. I'll see you later. Okay, bye. Jeez. Done.